Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. We're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You see my kid?
Everything is right in the world when you see a football field on your screen. It's time for week 1 of Indiana high school football. Welcome to Zionsville West Middle School, one of 4 games on the family of networks this afternoon on IndianaSRN. The Speedway Sparkplugs travel to take on the Warriors of Covenant Christian. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Burtner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. IU Sports Management, a lifetime of sport with a winning degree. Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 logistical solution. And by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. These 2 teams have only played just twice in their entire existence, and the last time they played each other was last year. It was a Speedway win, 26-21, and now we will get to see these teams battle it out again in their season opener. Hello, everyone. John Lester is here. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks so much for stopping by and taking in this game with us this afternoon to kick off the Indiana high school football season. A 26-21 win last year, and the good news is, John, a lot of experience is returning for both sides. The 2 quarterbacks that started last year are playing. The 2 leading tailbacks that started in last year's game are also playing. We can expect a lot of what we saw last year, perhaps even a more high-scoring affair.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a shootout this evening. These 2 quarterbacks combined for 59 total touchdowns a year ago. So, yeah, I think we're going to be in for a shootout tonight. But can I tell you how excited it is to have high school football back? I've been waiting for this since, baseball's state finals ended. This is a great night. Be in Indiana.
It sure is. Let's start off with the home team, Covenant Christian. Last year, a good season for first-year head coach Evan Cottle, who returns for his 2nd season. They finished 7-5 and lost in the sectional championship to the eventual state champions in Class 1A, that being Lutheran. A close game there, 34-27. The experience we talked about a lot of those guys are coming back as seniors this year. Their starting quarterback, Tony Flatt, All-City last year. In the game against Speedway last year, he threw for 259 yards. But in his entire season as a junior, over 2,500 yards through the air, 30 touchdowns. But Speedway is also going to have to watch out for his running ability. He has a great tendency to be able to break the pocket, extend the play, and use his legs if he needs to.
Yeah, we saw this during the scrimmages last week. Park Tudor had one of those dual-threat quarterbacks as well, and those dual-threat quarterbacks, if you're a defensive coordinator, it scares you because you don't know he can, as you said, beat you on the ground, but then also in the passing game, so you don't know what to expect. So sometimes as a defensive coordinator, you just hope you can guess right as to what play they're going to be running because he can beat you in both ways.
And just 8 interceptions last year for the starting quarterback, Flatt, so he knows how to take care of the football. There are the Warriors about to take the field in their new home jerseys. Looks like all black with white numbers for them tonight. And if Flatt isn't going to be putting the ball through the air, he has a reliable source in his backfield. John Neighbors returning All-State, also All-City last year. He racked up over 1,300 yards and 19 touchdowns. Such a dynamic offense. Coach Cottle has to be pleased with the guys that are returning, and I'm sure he has high expectations for how this offense is going to be looking.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing this Neighbors again tonight. And like you said, 1,300 yards last year, and just a great breakout season for him. Neighbors All-State, as you mentioned. So, yeah, Covenant Christian's they're loaded. And I think they have a little bit of a sour taste as to how last year ended. So I think maybe a little bit of a chip on their shoulder to try and get that back, because they just won a state championship 2 seasons ago.
Some of the targets through the air that Flatt will be looking towards. No more Brock Buckley. He graduated after last year. He led the team in nearly every category receiving-wise. 32 total catches, 800 yards receiving, and 12 touchdowns. He has now moved on to Indiana Wesleyan University. A couple of other notable guys that have graduated on to play at the second level. But for Flatt, he still has a lot of reliable guys, including Gavin Tyndall, who is a senior this year, was second on the team as far as receiving production last year. And then also 2 juniors to watch out for. Luke Munoz and Carter Bell will be split out for Flatt. We'll break down more of what the spark plugs of Speedway will bring to tonight's game. When we come back, we'll take our first break. You're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN. There's a look at the home team, the Covenant Christian Warriors, in their all-black uniforms tonight. Speedway will be on the other side wearing white. A lot of similarities between these two teams. They both have second-year head coaches. They both run a spread offense, and they also have a lot of experience returning to the field for this season. We talked about the skill players on the side of Covenant. Now for Speedway, they have a junior quarterback in Carter Watson who is returning all-conference, had a terrific season last year, similar to Flatt in those numbers, over 2,000 yards throwing, 29 touchdowns, did have 14 interceptions, which was almost twice as many as what Flatt had, but still a reliable source in the backfield for Coach Shane Clampett, who's in his second year, like we mentioned, a 9-3 season last year. Just like Covenant Christian, the experience, the reps that these guys have, Speedway is the exact same way. And again, we're going to hit on this probably a couple times throughout the broadcast. just how close this game would be and just how similar it could be to last year.
Yeah, I'm expecting a very similar game. Last year, Speedway coming off that 9-3 season, the best season they had in quite a while there, and seeing Watson. And I'm also looking forward to seeing this McPherson for Speedway as well, and see how he can get it done in the running game against this Covenant defense.
We do expect McPherson to get some reps running. He was All-State last year thanks to his defense, which was terrific. So we will see a lot of two-way players for Speedway as well. Tyrese Johnson is also going to be in the backfield as a junior running back. And then some guys to throw it to through the air. Again, more upperclassmen, Landon Short and Christian Cook, two juniors that Watson will be looking to get the ball to in this game. McPherson, meanwhile, last year, 1,000 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns. These offenses are going to be spectacular. What a treat we have for week one. We have tremendous quarterbacks who are going to put the ball through the air to reliable targets, but also two guys that if you need to get some yardage, you're going to hand the ball off to them.
And I'm anxious to see with the rain coming through if we do see a little bit more on the running game now, because you're going to have that slippery football. So I'm anxious to see if both teams just start with the running game and then throw some passes in there as the weather starts to clear up here.
Yeah, definitely you can see the shadows. The sun is still shining, but there was some rain that had been falling down during the pregame, so we'll see if anything like that will end up affecting how this game goes for either team. Last season, Speedway got their first winning season since 2013, also their first sectional final appearance. Both these teams will now start off week one here at Zionsville West Middle School. We'll take one final break, and then we'll have kickoff on IndianaSRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football, powered by IndianaSRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at IndianaSRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the IndianaSRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown, safety, first down, holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on IndianaSRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, at www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Welcome back to Zionsville West Middle School. It's time to get week one kicked off here in the state of Indiana. 4 games for you tonight on IndianaSRN. Ours is Speedway at Covenant Christian, also Traders Point taking on Heritage Christian, Evansville Memorial at Jasper, and Perry Meridian travels to Franklin Central.
Good to have Evansville Memorial aboard the SRN network this year.
Yeah, and I'll be making that trip next week down to Evansville. Memorial will take on Evansville North. So looking forward to that long trek down there. Good news is you gain an hour when you get down there. So I mean there's a couple of positives, I reckon, but
That Evansville Memorial Jasper game across our network tonight, that's number 7 and number 8 in 4A, so that should be a good one.
Yeah, plenty of terrific games across the entire state for week 1 is concerned. Usually you have, the best games start getting around the later parts of the season. But what a way to kick things off here. And we're just moments away from kickoff. The captains meeting at midfield for Covenant. We will wait to find out who will get the football first. Will it be Watson and the Sparkplugs offense, or will we see Tony Flatt lead the Warriors out there first? Both teams run the spread offense just like we said. Last year for Covenant, they averaged 160 yards on the ground and 212 through the air, so nearly 375 yards worth of offense per game. Meanwhile, the defense gave up 240, so you like the difference there if you're Coach Cottle. And on the other side, pretty similar. More throwing yards for Speedway. They averaged 180, meanwhile 145 on the ground. And the good news is also for Speedway, a lot of upperclassmen in this offensive line to help create holes for DJ McPherson. And he is one of the captains out there. He wears number 10, Carmel Perry, returning All-State player and All-Conference in the Indiana Crossroads Conference. The two captains for Speedway wearing the road white jerseys, brown pants, and brown numbers. Both teams trying to get hyped up before we get this thing rolling.
If I see correctly, Speedway won the toss and deferred, so I think we're going to see the Covenant offense first.
And we will give you that entire offense when they do head out onto the field. Coach Cottle will be calling the plays as the head coach. Beautiful night. Great weather really all week.
Yeah, it's been a hot one here in the state of Indiana this summer. Nice to see those temperatures finally dropping a little bit.
Speedway will kick off from right to left. The rain has stopped, so all that's left to do is get this ball in the air and get this game going.
Looking forward to seeing what Covenant does on offense on this first offensive possession. Like we said with the weather, see if they go to a quick running game or if we see Flat put it up in the air here.
We talked about the experience that was returning. 13 starters altogether on both sides are coming back this year for Covenant.
Speedway roster a little bit deeper, being a 3A school, so you're going to see a lot of the two-way players like you mentioned on those 1A schools. Roster's not quite as deep.
Speedway starts off this season 20th ranked in 3A according to the Sagarin. Meanwhile, Covenant number 6 in Class 1A. We'll have to tee up the football again, but yeah, like you said, John, a 3A school is what Speedway is, and Covenant Christian, usually much bigger schools on their schedule.
That has trouble with the ball here.
Yeah, it's twice now. Third time's a charm, hopefully, for the kicker of Speedway. That is Ben Heveland. And he puts his right foot into it, and finally we are underway. Back for the return is Gavin Tyndall of Covenant Christian. He'll start in the middle between the hashes. A pretty good return to set things up for Covenant Christian, close to the 40-yard line, perhaps just shy at the 39.
Yeah, great return, great starting field position for Covenant Christian on this first offensive series.
And Tyndall will stay out there with the rest of the Covenant Christian offense. Flat in the backfield. We'll have Neighbors to start things off directly behind him, and 3 receivers to his left.
Looks like I may see him put it in the air here early on.
And now there's a lot of confusion amongst the offense. A lot of guys shaking their head. Nope, it's a fake. Tyndall will roll out to his right. Will reverse course back to his left towards the Speedway sideline. Will get a couple of yards out of it. And what an interesting way to start off the 2022 campaign if you're Covenant.
Yeah, I'm still not sure. There might not have been some confusion there, but made something out of nothing. Got a good little 5-yard pickup there, as it turned out.
The Covenant offense acting like they were all out of sorts. They weren't lined up right. Nope, turns out it was planned the entire way. So now we'll see perhaps a normal play. Tyndall will be in the slot towards the top. Flat in the pistol with Neighbors behind him. Tyndall from left to right. Give to Neighbors. He'll pick up a couple of yards, fighting for a little bit more. Gain of 3 for Neighbors will set up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, big third down play here early for the Speedway defense. See what Covenant Christian, I expect Flat to maybe put this in the air here for the first time.
Watch out for Marvin Germany of Speedway. He's right over the center. Where's number 58? All conference in the Indiana Crossroads last year. Here's the 3rd and 3. Flat will put it through the air for the first time. Going far side, and it's over the head of his intended target.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that ball still might not be a little bit slippery with the rain we had earlier in the right before kickoff.
And he was trying to get it to Nolan Jones, so an incomplete pass. 4th and 3, but it looks like the offense will stay out there.
Interesting call if they do indeed go for this. They're still on their own side of the field here.
They're at the 47. 2 receivers up top. Flat will fake the give. Rolling out to his right. Will try to pick up with his legs, and he will. First down and a little bit of yardage afterwards. Nice 6-yard pickup for the quarterback, Tony Flat.
Yeah, it looks like Speedway had a chance to get him back there, turned over on downs, but a nice move by Flat to pick up the first down for Covenant.
And we mentioned it briefly in the pregame. Flat has tremendous running abilities. He was second in the team in rushing last year, and he was able to score 5 times with his legs. New set of downs, give to Neighbors. Simple give up the middle, churning his legs to about a 5 or 6 yard gain. And there's your all-city, all-state back returning for the Warriors.
Yeah, you saw why there. Neighbors looked like he was going to be held to a 2-yard gain there, but with the strength he had, and ended up making it a 7-yard pickup, getting himself 5 extra yards there.
What's the clock testing?
Second and manageable.
9:50 left on the clock.
Flat will look to pass again, looking deep, but finds his check down, and a good decision there. Luke Munoz with the first reception of the year will pick up the first down.
Yeah, 2 first downs on this opening drive for Covenant Christian.
34-yard line.
Warriors continue to trek into Speedway territory. New set of downs at the 34. Munoz will trot over near side, the lone receiver, towards the Covenant sideline. Tyndall, the man in motion. Flat. 5-step drop, looking deep, nowhere to go with it. Is going to be taken down. He stays up, and he loses the football, but he is able to hold on to it. Boy, Flat kept his eyes downfield, but relentless pursuit from Marvin Germany to finally bring him down for a huge loss.
Yeah, great defensive run there for Speedway. Flat lucky he was able to hold on to the ball there. Or else that could have ended in a turnover there. 8-yard loss on first down, though.
Marvin Germany last year, 13 tackles for loss and 54 total tackles.
Ooh, bad snap.
Bad snap, but it's picked up by Flat. Neighbors maneuvers around, a little shake and bake in between the hashes, able to get back a couple of those yards, but a 3rd down and long is upcoming for Covenant.
Yeah, this is the first 3rd and long situation here for Covenant. Let's see if probably definitely passing, and I'm anxious to see if Speedway brings the house on this.
8 minutes.
It's been a 4-down defensive line so far shown from Speedway. They run a 4-2-5 defensively. 2 receivers up top for Flat. 3rd down and 15. It's a screen set up to Neighbors. Speedway reads it well, and they hold him to no gain.
Yeah, wasn't really much with Speedway bringing, not much else he could do there. Just get it to a little screen pass and hope he could make something out of it. And unfortunately, just a 1-yard gain there. And you're kind of in that no man's land here in the field. So even though it's 4th and 14, I think you probably have to go for it here.
7:20 on the clock.
Well, Flat is still out there, but Flat is gonna. Looks like he's gonna punt it away.
I'm just going to repeat it to them a lot of times.
Actually, they have Munoz way back there to punt. Munoz does all the kicking duties. 15 yards behind the center, and this one just trickles into the end zone. Looked like a good punt. Could have set them back deep into their own territory. But Covenant, a couple of nice-looking plays, ends up stalling thanks to the pressure applied by Speedway to force that 2nd and 3rd down and long situations. So now we'll have the Sparkplugs and their first offensive drive.
Yeah, great defensive stand there for Speedway, allowing 2 first downs, but buckling down and end up forcing a punt. And now we're going to look at their offense for the first time.
This offense led out by Carter Watson. He is a junior. A lot of weapons in this offense. Watson finished the year with a completion percentage of 58.3, 29 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, averaged 176 yards passing through the air, and they'll spread this thing out wide. 3 receivers to his right. A quick release, a slant over the middle, and a huge connection. Not going down, taking defenders with him, losing the football, but picked up by his teammate. Fortunate for the Sparkplugs, and just like that, one play, and they're already into Covenant Christian territory.
Yeah, great opening play there for the big 30-yard pass play and fumble there you saw, but then end up getting about 10 extra yards with the fumble forward and the offense recovery, and they're already into Covenant Christian territory.
45.
So they go from the 20 on their side to the opposite 45. That's 35 yards on the first connection for Christian Watson. Neither team going with any sort of hurry-up offense. Everyone taking their time on their first possession. Pulling guard from the right side. The first give is to McPherson, and he's showing off his ability with the football. After the first contact, getting a lot of yards out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, McPherson, the one we were talking about in the pregame there, Jarrett, and showing you what he can do there. 20-yard pickup there, and already on 2 plays, Speedway's inside the 30-yard line.
35 yards on play 1, 20 yards there on play 2. Under 6 minutes now and counting, a little over halfway through this opening quarter.
See if Covenant Christian changes the defense up a little bit and try and send a little bit of a blitz package this time.
4-down lineman also for Covenant Christian. Fake the give and wide open on the rollout with the catch and nearing the first down marker for Speedway. Jazz Coleman picks up the catch. He's just a freshman in the starting lineup for the Speedway offense.
Boy, the Speedway team is deep, and they have got a lot of weapons on this offense, coming off a 9-3 season a year ago.
Coleman will now line up as, and now he'll shift over to the right side as a wing just right of the tackle. 3 receivers near side. But before that, we get a stoppage and a timeout.
Timeout, Speedway.
First timeout of the game called by the Sparkplugs. They are driving and getting close to an opening score. Around 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. We'll be back with more action here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back out of the Speedway timeout, and they're lined up ready to go. Just their 4th play of this ball game. And the Sparkplugs are at the 15-yard line. Here's another give to McPherson. This time, nothing doing. Still just 1 yard left to go for Speedway to pick up a first down.
Yeah, good stand there out of the timeout for the Covenant Christian defense. Speedway was marching right on down the field. Now here comes a big 3rd down, short. See if we see McPherson get it right back.
Nolan Jones, one of the linebackers in the middle of the field for Covenant Christian alongside Wyatt Bowman. 3rd and short. McPherson will get the first down and a little bit more. Takes 3 guys to bring him down. He's inside the 10 to about the 7 or 8 yard line. Sparkplugs inching closer towards the end zone.
Yeah, boy, the strength he's showing, too. And you saw how drug about 3 tacklers there forward for a couple extra yards. Now a 1st and goal situation for Speedway.
McPherson on his first 3 carries at 28 yards rushing.
Here we got an early update from one of our Traders Point has scored early at Heritage Christian and leads at 6-0.
2 backs in the backfield. Coleman is the one in motion, but it's McPherson who gets the football and an easy trot into the end zone. DJ McPherson, 4 carries, over 30 yards rushing, and a little bit of a giddy dance to celebrate the first score of the season.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a very impressive drive for Speedway, especially for McPherson, forcing Covenant Christian to have to punt the ball and marching right on down the field for your first 6 points of the season.
4:02.
On for the kicking duties is Ben Heveland. Ball is down high, kick through the uprights. It is good. 7-0 early lead in the first quarter for the visiting Speedway Sparkplugs. Let's see what the Warriors can do on their second possession when we return to Zionsville West Middle School. You're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Just 6 plays to go 80 yards on their opening drive of the season. 4 of those plays were given to DJ McPherson. And he already is at 35 yards rushing. He capped it off with a 6-yard touchdown run and an easy scamper into the end zone. The offensive line, we've talked, it's the word of the game, I think, is just experience, just returning, and that offensive line opening up a huge hole for the star running back.
Yeah, definitely. McPherson there, 35 yards there on that opening drive. And, yeah, this is a great answer for Speedway. You couldn't ask for a better start, forcing the punt for Covenant Christian, then marching right on down and scoring on your first offensive series. Have Covenant Christian up against it here a little bit early on.
It was a close matchup in their lone ever meeting last year, 26-21. It was close after one. It was close at halftime. We'll see how the Warriors now answer after their first drive started off pretty well, picked up 2 first downs, but it stalled after good pressure applied by the Speedway interior defense. Forced Covenant into 2nd and 3rd down and long. Here's a nice return. Big hole up the middle for Tyndall with his bright green gloves and cleats. Gets tripped up from behind. Nice tackle made to save perhaps a quick answer on the kickoff for Gavin Tyndall.
Yeah, I definitely think he saved a touchdown there, and couldn't ask for a greater answer there for Covenant Christian on the kickoff return. Now you're starting on Speedway's end of the field.
Almost to the Speedway 40 at the 41-yard line. So a good start for this second drive. Coach Cottle will send out his offense looking to respond after the Speedway touchdown.
Yeah, anxious to see how Speedway, if they come out with the same defensive set, and it looks like they are.
Someone jumping on the line for Speedway. No flag thrown. Flat, looking, throws it deep down the far sideline, and it's out of the reach of Tyndall. Nice defensive coverage applied. It looked like
341.
May have been Verby Jerome on the coverage far side for Speedway.
Yeah, great job staying with his defender there, forcing the incompletion there. And got a second down here for Covenant. See if they put it back on the ground again on the second down play.
I said Verby Jerome. I apologize. I believe it was Tyrese Johnson. He's a junior. He's a two-way player. He's had experience on offense as well as the defense, and now he'll line up in this near slot. But before that, we get our first penalty marker down of the game, and this time they do catch Speedway jumping off sides.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought they were going to get the first time. They didn't, and definitely jumping off sides this time. And usually in these first games, you know, the penalties start to happen. But as you said, the first penalty of the game, pretty clean ball game to this point.
On the 36. We're on the 36.
36-yard line, 2nd down and 5 for Covenant. Flat, trying to get everybody in position before this play in the usual pistol formation. Low snap, give, stretch run for Neighbors. He shakes the first guy, but the second guy comes in, takes him out around the legs, but not after a 3-yard gain, and 3rd down and 2 will be the next play.
Yeah, still a pretty good 3-yard pickup there for for Neighbors when it looked like he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage or maybe a little behind. But again, you're at 3rd down here, and Speedway stuffed out the last one. Let's see what happens on this time. Probably 4-down territory, you would think, nonetheless, in this part of the field.
Neighbors able to eclipse over 111 yards a game last year. Let's see what Covenant goes with.
I think I just got him a free first down, I think.
I think you're exactly right. Another offsides. Second one in almost as many plays picked up for Speedway, and that will give a free first down. I was about to say there's some options for this Covenant offense. You're probably leaning towards just a simple give, but they won't even have to run a play. They'll get a new set of downs at about the 28.
Yeah, trying to anticipate the snap count. Like I said, first game you accept to have some mistakes, but those are mistakes that are just give you a fit if you're the head coach.
Man in motion from left to right. Flat. Looking, will opt to step up into the pocket, takes a big hit, bounces off of that one, and taking defenders with them, close to a first down.
I think I saw a flag, yeah.
And this one might be coming back, and it already looks like the Warriors offense will make their way back.
Yeah, nice little run there for Flat, unfortunately. Like, it's going to be coming back, and now Covenant will be backed up to about a 1st and 20 or so.
And Flat is not the biggest player, but he can take some hits. 6 foot 185. And the holding is a huge penalty, all the way back to the 40-yard line.
This is one of these penalties that's different in high school as opposed to what you'd see at the pro level. It's just a 10 yards, but in high school it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So this is about a 1st and 23 or so.
That first down marker, the first marker is at the 28-27, and they are pushed all the way back to the 40 to start off this first down play, and it goes nowhere for Neighbors. They go to the short side of the field, and he's pushed back about 2 yards.
Yeah, another low snap there, too. You have to wonder if that ball's still a little bit slippery and a little bit wet from that rain that hit in the pregame.
Marvin Germany, we've mentioned him already a couple of times. Setting the tone in the middle of that defense alongside Jonathan Edmond. Those two right over the football for this second down and very long play. Flat, long drop over the middle, and he short-armed it, and it bounces into the gloves that are going to be easy to notice for Munoz.
Yeah, that's one he'd like to have back, you know. He going down the ground and coming down loose there, you know, that's one he'd like to have back.
153.
Check that. That's Tyndall. So Tyndall has, he wears number 16. He's got the neon green on. Tyndall will move near side into the slot. Far receiver is Landon Ross. Third down in a country mile is what Bill Ludlow would say. Flat.
Blitz.
Looking near side, and this one's nowhere near his intended target. Trying to go back to Tyndall. And now the second punt of the afternoon upcoming from Munoz.
If my numbers are right, this Speedway has forced a 2-for-6 passing start for Flat in this game. Are they going to keep the offense out here? Again, you're kind of in that area of the field, and it's punt, it looks like.
Yeah, Flat stands at the 50, but he's just one of the up men. Munoz is back, standing at almost the 40-yard line. He's good ways behind the center, but it's a good snap back to him. And it looks like a decent punt line drive. Caught by McPherson. He's kind of the do-it-all guy for Speedway, and he gets wrangled down at about the 25.
Yeah, again, great start to the drive for Covenant Christian, but it stalls out, and now Speedway coming out for their second series, already up 7-0.
This first half of action is brought to you by Telemetry Sports. For more than 6 years, Telemetry Sports has been working with the NFL and multiple college football teams as a data and technology provider. Player speeds and accelerations that they are providing us is generated using computer vision, the same technology as autonomous vehicles. Telemetry Sports, a proud partner of IndianaSRN broadcasts. First play of the second drive, Watson on the hitch route connects with his receiver for the second time, that being Christian Cook on the catch.
Yeah, going the air on this first down series. Got a nice little 4-yard pickup there on first down for Speedway. 3-yard pickup.
Cook, coming off a decent season from last year, had 17 catches, good for 5th on the team, and was able to get into the end zone once. Cook is at the top of the screen, 3 receivers near side, another hitch, this time over the middle of the field between the hashes and trying to plow forward for some extra yards and able to pick up the first down. for Speedway is Zach Wareham.
Yeah, great play there. Wareham coming in for his first catch of the game and another first down, and I think this is about as good of a start for Speedway as they could expect in this game.
1:10 on clock.
Closing in on 1 minute left in this opening period. Speedway may be able to get off this play and one more before the quarter ends. They fake the jet sweep, and showing off his running ability is Carter Watson. He's close to a first down. 9 yards on the read option for the junior quarterback.
Yeah, good little run there on the quarterback keeper. And like I said, 8.5, 9-yard pickup on first down. Another score update, Heritage Christian has tied up Traders Point 6-all, and that just reached the end of the first.
Watson didn't have to do much with his legs last year. He only had 10 yards per game, as most of the utilage was with McPherson out of the backfield. Wide open down the near sideline. He's going to go all the way. DJ McPherson, we just mentioned his name, and him and Watson connect for the second time on the touchdown. Speedway now leads 13-0.
Yeah, McPherson a receiving touchdown now to go with his rushing touchdown. And, yeah, 2 touchdowns from nearly 100 yards in this first quarter for McPherson.
The do-it-all guy, we saw him on the punt return. We saw him in the backfield. And that time coming out of the backfield for the receiving catch. And from there on, it's a lot of speed for McPherson. No one was going to catch him. Point after is up. Looks good from Heveland, and it is good. 14-0 is the score. The Sparkplugs add on one more touchdown before the end of the quarter, and they lead 14-0. You're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We're live.
First drive, it took just 6 plays for the Sparkplugs to score. This time, they one up themselves, and it takes 4 to score thanks to a 59-yard catch and run for DJ McPherson. No one picking him up out of the backfield, and if you are even, you are beat. That's what the secondary coaches would teach you during practice.
Yeah, this is McPherson. He's fun to watch in this first quarter, and it's been all Speedway so far. And Covenant Christian really up against it, Jared. I think this is, even though we're going in still only in the first quarter, I think this is almost a must-score drive for Covenant right now.
Yeah, the second drive did not end up as good as the first one. A couple of incompletions and a negative run for Neighbors. Speedway defense stepping up just as good as the offense is looking so far. Evelyn with his third kickoff. This one deep will bounce into the end zone past Tyndall. And Covenant will begin this drive at the 20-yard line.
Well, they had a good return off the kickoff last time. No worries about that for Speedway this time, booting that ball in the end zone. I've got unofficially 147 yards for Speedway in this first quarter.
And nearly 100 of those belong to DJ McPherson, 94 to be exact. McPherson, total yardage last year was 1,400 yards. 1,000 of those were via the run game. Back on the field is the Covenant Christian offense. They'll start the first down. Looking to pass, flat, forced to his left, and he slips and falls, and he's taken down.
Yeah, I think he got bit by the turf bug more than anything on that one. And unfortunately, though, this is going to be a second and very long for Covenant Christian, and that might be the end of the quarter.
Ishola Ololade picks up the sack for Speedway. A good way to end the first quarter. A couple of big plays consistently made by Speedway. And that has them out 14-0 over Covenant heading into quarter number 2. Don't go anywhere. Second quarter is upcoming on IndianaSRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Not the first quarter you wanted to see if you're a Covenant Christian fan, but if you are a visiting fan here at Zionsville West Middle School, you are more than pleased with how the Sparkplugs came out to start off their 2022 season. John has the total yardage from that first quarter, and it does not look good for the Warriors.
Yeah, if you're a Covenant Christian fan, you might want to put some earplugs in right now because unofficially, of course, the first quarter yardage, Covenant Christian held to 12 yards in that first quarter against the Speedway defense. Speedway with 147 unofficially.
But a brand new quarter, a brand new 12 minutes put on the clock for Covenant. This time they'll go in a different direction. And perhaps that will improve this offense. A clean pocket for Flat deep down the field, and he just misses his receiver. He was going after Wyatt Bowman.
Yeah, again, a situation you don't want to be in here for Covenant. 3rd and long, 3rd and 20 here. And again, that Speedway defense stepping up.
That time, not as much pressure getting to Flat in the pocket. But pretty good coverage down the field from the Speedway secondary.
And Speedway, they're expecting a pass here, 3rd and 20, backed up at your own 10-yard line for Covenant Christian.
And this could very well be a play where obviously you want to try and get the first down, but you want to try to get as much yardage as you can to prevent Munoz from having to kick deep into his own end zone. Flat going backwards to start. He'll have to tuck it and run. He'll pick up maybe a couple of yards. But again, the Speedway defense holds strong. They force Covenant into a very long situation and the third punt this afternoon.
Yeah, and Covenant Christian's going to have to punt from very deep in their own territory, so Speedway is going to get excellent field position out of this.
The late man trotting out onto the field for Covenant is Bowman. Now everyone set and ready. Dangerous territory for the Warriors. The defense now for Covenant going to be put in a real tough spot. Low line drive bouncing kick gets behind McPherson, and that's very lucky for Covenant Christian. I think if McPherson puts his hands on that one and gets a running start, it'll be much better field position for Speedway, but for Covenant, they pin them back to the 35.
Yeah, that looked like a lot of green up in front of McPherson. Kind of surprised he let that one go by. Nonetheless, still decent field position for Speedway. That, like their own 30, a little late flag, too.
Yeah, there's also a flag down right at midfield.
Ooh.
They say unsportsmanlike on Speedway.
Yeah, that's Not what you're looking for if you're at Speedway at all. You're going to be backed up around your own 20-yard line when it looked like you were going to be able to start around the 50.
Referee does stop just inside the 20 at the 19.
That's this third penalty of the game on Speedway, I believe.
No penalties, no, just one for Covenant. They had the holding call, but it is 3 penalties for Speedway. So, pretty best case scenario for Covenant Christian, having to punt in your own end zone, and now Speedway will start things off at the 20. Watson directing traffic around, and that's going to bring in another flag.
I think somebody might have moved there.
And they might pick up the flag. They might, yep. It looks like a timeout got snuck in by Speedway. That is indeed the case. Not everyone on the same page, so they will burn their second timeout. We will take a break as well. Speedway still up 14-0 as we begin the second quarter.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games.
Welcome back to Zionsville West Middle School. There's a play run by Carter Watson out of the Speedway timeout. And a pretty good pickup, close to a first down.
Yeah, I think it is first.
No signal yet. Now the chains begin to move. So Watson, again, shows off his legs. He's got 20 yards on the ground.
You mentioned throwing in a little bit of rushing, something he did not do a year ago.
McPherson is the tailback. They fake the give to him up the middle. Watson going deep down the middle of the field and getting behind the secondary for the reception. Finally dragged down at the 33-yard line. Landon Short, a tall outside receiver, hauls that one in for a huge gain.
Oh, you got to like Watson here, finding his receiver there, and once again, Speedway on the Covenant Christian side of the field. You get the feeling this is kind of danger time right now for Covenant Christian. You don't want to fall any further behind than what you are right now against this explosive offense.
Well-designed play for the Spark Plugs. And again, they are into Warriors territory. Short with his first reception on the year. Now 5 different guys have caught a pass from Watson. Here's a quick hitter on the screen set up for Cook, but it's dropped, and I don't think Cook would have gotten much of anywhere if he had held on to it.
Yeah, that was going nowhere there. Great answer there for the Covenant Christian defense, and I believe that is the first incompletion, I believe, from Watson tonight.
That it is. He is 5 of 6.
9:56.
And we're under 10 minutes at 9:56 on the game clock. Bunched receiver set towards the top. Christian Cook alone at the bottom. But it's a run. McPherson with a nice hold towards the right side off tackle. And he runs over the first guy. Drugged down by Bowman, but not after a nice pickup to the 20-yard line.
I was going to say, guess who there for Speedway? Mr. Everything for them here in the first half.
Nearly 10 yards a carry right now is what McPherson is averaging.
Right around the 20-yard line here again, looks like, for Speedway. So another red zone trip.
McPherson, a scary guy to try and size up and take down. He's showing off every bit of skill that he has. Fake left, throw right, Cook open in the back of the end zone. Second touchdown pass for Carter Watson. And Christian Cook on his third catch scores from 20 yards out.
Yeah, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for Speedway. You could not ask for a better start for this team, and has Covenant Christian on the ropes in this one. And boy, has Watson looked good quarterback here in this first half as well.
6 of 7, 165 yards passing. And now 2 touchdowns. This time, someone other than McPherson hits pay dirt. Evelyn for the third time. This time it's blocked. Looks like Tyndall flew right through there and used his body to put that one down. But the Warriors now trail by 3 scores. 20-0. Sparkplugs lead on the road.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
All 3 drives so far for Speedway that have ended up in scores have been 6 plays or less. That one, 6 plays exactly, ended up with a Christian Cook touchdown. Well-designed play, wide open on the corner route.
Yeah, great job for Cook to win defense getting open there, and the easy touchdown reception, and a 20-0 ball game here right now.
Carter Watson has looked impressive starting off his junior campaign. DJ McPherson, 48 yards on the ground, and he also had that 59-yard catch and run out of the backfield. Evelyn with a nice boot into this one as Tyndall catches it at the 5. We'll head down the far sideline, now through the middle. Nice return close to the 40-yard line, and Speedway thinks they picked up the football on the return. I don't think the referees think so.
Yeah, I think he was down. I think that was a little ground causing the fumble there.
And that is indeed going to be the case. So a good return for Tyndall to the 38. And hopefully, if you're a Warriors fan, you can see some sort of drive put together well to end off this first half of play and what has been so far an abysmal 3 drives.
Yeah, Covenant Christian just trying desperately to find something to work against this Speedway defense here in their 4th drive of the game here. I got a late substitution here coming in.
Blood on 57.
Yeah.
That's why he left.
The word is there was some blood on one of the Covenant Christian offensive linemen, that being Austin Cooper, one of the seniors on this O-line, which has some decent experience as well, going up against Speedway. Stretch. This is not Neighbors. A new running back in for Covenant Christian. Taking the give is Noah Bryant, a sophomore. Picks up a couple of yards, about 3 across the 40.
Yeah, seeing if the backups here can get anything going at all against this Speedway defense here, and minimal gain there on first down. Well, 4 yards.
So Neighbors right now not out there with the first team offense. Bryant tails behind flat. We get another jump, and they'll kill the play. That's the third time now that Speedway has jumped off sides.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's bit Speedway is those offside penalties here.
2 of them in the first quarter, and now they have 1 here. We'll make second down a little bit more manageable, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, you know, even though with the 20-0 lead, you know something that's coach going to have a talk with his defense about at halftime.
Flat, looking to pass. Over the middle of the field and almost intercepted. It probably should have been. Making a pretty good read and jump on it was Kelvin Bass in that spark plug secondary.
Yeah, I think definitely should have been. I think Bass even knows, and he had a lot of green in front of him too if he was able to pick that.
Dangerous territory on the pass from Flat. Flat is now just 2 of 7 through the air. Bass, a freshman, getting the start in this secondary. Evan James is the defensive coordinator for Speedway. Low snap. Neighbors was in the backfield, and Flat opted to keep it. Bad decision. He goes backwards to the original line of scrimmage, actually a yard behind it. And what was 3rd down and 3 is now 4th down and 9, actually. So he was dropped close to the original line of scrimmage, but just a yard in front of it.
Yeah, that looked like an odd play. I don't know if that was desire, if there was a bit of miscommunication there. That was just odd looking from the snap there. And another punt coming for Covenant Christian.
Luke Munoz now for the 4th time. Snap. Takes a couple of bounces towards Munoz, but still able to get it off, and a good punt at that. McPherson had to go backwards a couple of steps, and he picks up a couple of nice yards on the return. He could have been stopped right where he caught it, but he is dropped at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that looked like it was going next to nowhere, but the athleticism from McPherson turned that into about a 12, 13-yard return. And again, pretty good starting field position again for Speedway here, 35-yard line.
Thank you. I'm guessing McPherson is probably the kickoff return man. We haven't seen the return unit for Speedway yet. But this man probably drives the bus on away games for Speedway, what he does.
Yes.
Right now, he's split out wide in the slot. Jazz Coleman checks in. He's to the left of the quarterback Watson as they begin drive number 4. So far, they are 3 for 3. And before that, we get a flag thrown. Looks like the right tackle may have jumped for Speedway.
5th penalty of the half on Speedway now.
The right tackle is Adedemola Anjani, 6'4", 270. Try getting around that guy on the right side of the offense.
1st and 15 now after that penalty.
Anjani is just a junior also. He's got 1 more year left. Pass over, nearly intercepted. Well played, getting around Cook was the defensive back of Covenant Christian. That was Carter Bell.
Well, that would have been a good little momentum shifter in Covenant Christian's favor if they were able to pick that off. Still a nice defensive play.
7:30 on the clock.
After the incompletion, clock is stopped at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 receivers split out both sides for Speedway. Looking to pass is Watson. Feels the heat. Throws it over the middle of the field. Dangerous territory. But luckily he overshoots everybody. Back-to-back incompletions now forced by the Covenant defense.
Yeah, he had to get rid of that one because he had almost the whole line for Covenant Christian coming at him there. Luckily for Speedway, that was just an incomplete pass. And now this first 3rd and long for Speedway. So let's see if Covenant Christian has 1 more defensive stop in him. Keep Speedway off the board this drive.
2 big guys in the middle of that defensive line for Covenant Christian. Elijah Carlson and Cole Thomas, both seniors and both over 6'4", 260. So a rare 3rd down and long right now for Speedway. More pressure from Covenant, and this pass is over the head of Landon Short. So for the first time, Covenant Christian forces a punt situation upcoming for Speedway.
Yeah, Covenant Christian, a great defensive series there and a much needed there, and they should get pretty good field position out of this to start their offense.
So Ben Hevelin is responsible for kicking duties, but their punter is Cale Bennett. Bennett stands with his heels on the 16. Good snap. Plenty of time.
Good kick.
Near side takes a nice friendly Speedway roll. And Covenant gets away from it. It's down at the 33. Plenty of time left in the second quarter for Covenant to put together a good drive. Their defense finally does their job. And now we'll see what kind of motivation and confidence that puts on the offensive end.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Defense finally gets you a stop there. Now let's see if that can lead the momentum into the offense here. We have a couple of score updates from some of our SRN games. Heritage Christians grabbed the lead on Traders Point 13-6 and Franklin Central 23-0 over Perry Meridian in the second quarter. And I believe they have just kicked off down in Jasper for that matchup between Evansville Memorial and Jasper.
So here comes out Tony Flatt and the rest of the offense. Neighbors is back in there. Slant route, caught. And finally we see a reception. It's been 4 straight incompletions for Flatt. He hooks up with Landon Ross.
That's a nice little safe play there. Just a nice little 4-yard gain there. Nice little play to try to get your offense clicking again here, and it's manageable, 2nd and 6.
It's just the 3rd completion so far for Flatt. He's able to come away with 10 yards. Munoz has a catch. And now Ross. Landon lines up. Lone receiver near side. There's 3 receivers towards the top for Flatt. He looks near side. Nothing there. More pressure being applied. And he's able to escape out of it for the moment. Ball's on the turf. And it looks like it was picked up by Speedway.
Yep.
Initially, and then they lost it, but then they got it right back.
Ooh, that's the last thing you wanted if you're Covenant Christian, and Flatt looks like he's a little slow getting up as well.
Fumble recovery for Carmel Perry. All-State last year, recorded over 100 total tackles. And he puts that 4th drive from Covenant to a halt. Speedway threatening to score yet again on top of it.
That was a big hit on Flatt there with Speedway bringing the house, and they are inside the 30-yard line, looking to get a commanding lead here going into halftime.
6:20.
And still plenty of time left in this second quarter. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Sparkplugs with their best field position of any drive tonight. Watson fakes the give over the middle of the field and puts it on a rope to his receiver, and he carries the defender with him into the end zone. Landon Short scores on the very first play of the drive. Speedway leads now 26-0.
That was a great pass to where only his receiver could get it just out of the reach of the defender, and 6 more for Speedway. This is one impressive first half for the Sparkplugs.
Here's the replay.
They put up their 26th point, and they score from the 27-yard line. Another look at that throw from Watson and the catch from Short. Sparkplugs will opt to go for 2 and try and make it 28-0. Watson rolls out, quick hitter. Stopped at the goal line, but shakes the defender and gets into the end zone. That's Zach Warham. And that'll make the score 28-0.
Yeah, great. Lolo trying to chase that point they lost on that extra point, and they get the 2 points, and it is all Speedway in this game.
That it is. The road team has come into Zionsville and has put up 28 first-half points on Covenant Christian.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Speedway spark plugs have trotted over to Zionsville West Middle School, and they have shown out early. It's just week 1, but this team looks like they've been playing for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, if this Speedway team is what we're going to see all year long, this is going to be a tough team to beat this year, and it's been in 3A. And, yeah, it's been about as good of a first half as you can expect, or if you could ask for.
Another deep kick from Heveland, and Tyndall, nowhere really to go, gets past the 20 to the 21. But it has been all Speedway defensively, putting Covenant in very long to-go situations, and the offense clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, unofficially here in the first half, I've got Speedway at 254 yards on offense here in this first half.
So the Warriors offense comes back out. One of the worst field positions they have started with in this game. Another low snap, and that kind of puts everything at a halt. Neighbors has nowhere to go. Multiple guys bring him down for Speedway, and coming out of the bottom of the pile is a guy we've already mentioned 3 or 4 times in Marvin Germany.
Yeah, Marvin Germany's been a beast on defense in the first half, and yeah, like I said, I saw another low snap. Still got to wonder if that ball's a little bit slick from that rain earlier in the pregame, right before we kicked off here tonight.
Also give props to Devin Robinson, a junior defensive lineman. Second down and 10. Flat will throw it this time, and it's off the chest, incomplete. Trying to hook up with Landon Ross again.
Yeah, great look there for Flat. Unfortunately, Ross just unable to come up with the throw there, and again, another 3rd and long for Covenant Christian.
Speedway has already eclipsed the amount of points they put on Covenant Christian last year at 26. And they've done 28 now, all in this first half with still 5 minutes left to play.
Yeah, let's see if you see Speedway bring a blitz here, try and force another sack or another loss here.
They bring 4, pressure off the edge, forces Flat to step up, has Neighbors as his check down. He's short of the first down. Pretty good play to make something out of it.
It's about a 4th and about 1.5 yards. I don't, you're down 28 points. I know you're in a deep part of the field, but I think you may have to consider going for this here just to try to get some kind of momentum going your way.
And at the very least, you've done it 3 times already, and that's force Speedway to jump off sides. But you know that Speedway sideline is probably shouting the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Sparkplugs show a little pressure initially. They don't bring anything. Give to Neighbors near side, and I don't think he got there.
Yeah, I think he's about a half yard short. Looked like he had a little bit of an opening there, but then Speedway closed up in a hurry, and it's going to be a turnover on downs, I believe.
They opt to go for it on 4th and 2. Neighbors doesn't pick up anything. And now Speedway, everything falling into their lap at the moment, has a chance to add on to this 28-0 lead.
Yeah, and right there, I think that's a decision you had to make for Covenant Christian. I mean, things haven't been going your way. I think you had to try to get something going there to try to turn the momentum here. Unfortunately, ended up about a half yard short.
Speedway now, back-to-back possessions. They will start inside the Covenant 30-yard line.
Want to take any guesses who's going to get the ball here? No,
pass. It's not going to be McPherson yet. He is wide open out of the backfield, and Watson wasn't looking that way. If he was, I think McPherson may have been walking into the end zone. That left side of the field was wide open, but good pressure applied by Covenant.
Yeah, good play there for Covenant Christian, forcing the incomplete pass, and now a second down. And let's see if the Covenant Christian defense can step up here with field position against them here. They've done it once before in this game.
Second down and 10. Watson right now looking at an 8 for 13 game and nearly 200 yards already in first half. I'll try to add on to that, and he will. He'll pick up some yards. Pass complete to his receiver, Blessing Bambo. Bambo may have a first down as he was drugged down at the near sideline, and that is the case.
Speedway would love nothing more here with about 4 minutes left in the half to take. I know they've scored quick, but the best case scenario would be to score here right before the end of the first half because you're going to get the ball as they deferred to start the second half.
Offense gets into their formation. Watson's now at 205 yards passing. Two backs in the backfield with him. He's got Coleman and McPherson. Coleman motions out of the backfield, and McPherson sees a wide open hole up the middle. He refuses to go down. Wow. He will only take touchdowns. That's the third of the game for DJ McPherson, and he is fired up about it.
Yeah, he is some kind of athlete. We're seeing.
There is a flag, though, as you can see in the backfield.
I think it was after the touchdown, I believe, but maybe not.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll try to get things sorted out here, but it is definitely on Speedway, and the indication appears that it's unsportsmanlike, which would be the second of this quarter alone. So no touchdown. The touchdown is waved off, and the McPherson run is all for nothing.
Well, that's a killer if you're Speedway. I know you're up 28-0, but ooh, that's a killer.
And they started the drive at the 29. They got past that, but with the penalty, it pushes them all the way beyond the 40 to the 43.
Yeah, the one downfall for Speedway, that is now 50 yards in penalties in the first half.
McPherson checks out. Coleman is on the left of Watson. Three receivers to his left. First down and very long to go. Another pass is complete to Bambo.
Nice open field tackle there, right to prevent any extra yardage there.
And looks like hobbling over. He stops right now at midfield. That's that right tackle we were talking about, Ajane. Ajane is reaching for his right toe. Trying to get it all stretched out. Looks like he's going to stay out there and he's good to go. But something to watch out for on this second down. And looks like this is going to be a false start on Speedway. A couple of guys flinching.
Yep.
What's the clock?
Second false start now for the Sparkplugs.
3:15.
And that's 7 total penalties.
Yeah, you got second in a country mile here for Speedway. You don't have many plays for second and 32, so it's probably one of those, try to get maybe half of them on one play, try and split and get that first down.
Let's see what Sparkplugs offense decides to do here on second down and 32. Their offensive coordinator is Johnny West, running the spread offensive look. They're going to put the ball through the air. Pressure up the middle. Nice read by Watson. Got rid of it in a hurry on the crossing route from Christian Cook. And Speedway will go from the 44 to, looks like, the 37.
Yeah, I picked up 7 yards there, but you still got third and long for Speedway. Probably 4-down territory there, so just like the last play, if you can maybe get half here, and then that way you have a manageable 4th down.
Speedway also not in any sort of hurry. I think Carter Watson's helmet may have came off, but... And if it did, Speedway may opt to use a timeout here, and that's going to be the case.
Yep. Their last one, I believe.
That is the third and final timeout called by Speedway. They still are looking to add more points up on the board here in this first half. 28-0 is our score here at Zionsville West Middle School.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Along with John Lester, I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us here on IndianaSRN. This first half of play is brought to you by Serenity Care Services. They are an Indiana licensed personal agency and Medicaid waiver service provider in Central Indiana. The friendly, competent, experienced team of caregivers that you have been seeking. Contact them today, serenitycareservices.net. Out of the timeout, rolling out to his right on third down near sideline, was going after Bambo, but it was out of his reach. And now there's a 4th down upcoming for Speedway, and this looks like they're going to send the punting unit out.
Yeah, there's really nothing else you can do, I don't think. Good defensive stand there for Covenant Christian. They got bailed out with that penalty, and then the defense stepped up and see if they can get their offense, see if they can get a score on the board here before halftime.
And if they're going to put together some sort of drive, it's more than likely going to start inside the 20, depending on where Cale Bennett can pin this punt. Bennett's only been on for 1 punt so far. Gets this one away from the 50, will bounce to the left and settle down at the 5-yard line. Well done, job well done by Cale Bennett. Covenant Christian will have to go 95 yards and trying to put some points up on the board in this first half.
Yeah, see what Covenant Christian can do. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining with around 2 minutes left here.
2:02 to be exact. So a 2-minute drill essentially upcoming for Flat in the offense.
Yeah, let's see if Speedway goes for their blitz has been somewhat successful. Let's see if they go right after this here on this first down play with Covenant Christian backed up.
The usual suspects out there, Munoz and Tyndall, line up to the top of the screen. Neighbors in the backfield And Landon Ross. Low snap. Counter, give to Neighbors, and he finds his way through traffic. Gets past the 10 to the 11.
Yeah, made something out of nothing there. Looks like he was going to be stopped for a very minimal gain. End up a nice 7-yard pickup there.
And now the hurry-up offense starts to play a factor. Covenant on 2nd and 4. Flat. Quick hitter. Out route Tyndall. Going backwards, trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage. They call him down. It looked like maybe Tyndall had slipped and his knee had hit. And it's no gain on the connection.
Yeah, a big 3rd down here again for Covenant Christian. The Speedway defense can get one more stop here.
3rd down and 4. Closing on a minute to play. Ross juggles it. As he got hit, he somehow corrals it in to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, Gray, it looked like it was going to come loose there, but Ross stayed with it and got Covenant Christian 1st down here.
What's the clock?
Warriors still have to hurry. Ross had to come out because his shoe came off. Warriors flat, a very deep drop. Deep pass down the field. Oh. And it's caught! Caught by Munoz. Munoz down the near sideline has one man to beat, and he gets tackled from behind. A huge pickup, and it'll set up Warriors in a nice position to try and finally score. Munoz goes over the top of the defender to bring that one in.
That might have been the momentum shifter that Covenant Christian needed right there. Munoz staying with it and getting his team down right into the outside of the red zone here.
It's a gain of 42 yards. No, actually 52 yards as they reach the 20-yard line. 30 seconds left to play. Flat. Looking to pass again over the middle of the field. Jump ball, and this time it doesn't go in the Warriors' favor. Ross working against Kelvin Bass in the secondary.
38 seconds, 3 timeouts. You're at your 20-yard line here. A handball opportunity for Covenant right before the half. Try and build a little bit of momentum going into the locker room here.
I said 42, and then I said 52. I think it was 62. It was 62 yards because he went from the opposite 18, and now they're at the 20. Stretch play, Neighbors. Decent pickup, and he's stacked up at the 15-yard line.
I think this coming back, though, there's a flag right in the holding area.
Yeah, Speedway thinks it's against Covenant, and the Covenant offensive line also thinks it's on Covenant. Just the 2nd penalty for the Warriors, and both of them have been holding.
Unfortunate break there for Covenant Christian because you had about down to the 15-yard line there, and instead you're going to be backed up at your 29.
And still, you have all of your timeouts to work with, but not much time left to go. Flat pitches it to Neighbors. They turn it into a little speed option play, but the clock does run, and wisely the Warriors will opt to use a timeout. We'll keep things right here. The Warriors have 15 seconds on the play clock, and at the very least, you try and get Munoz in position to put up a field goal perhaps.
Yeah, if you can thinking of field 28-0, but when the first half's gone the way it has, just getting some points on the board is just what you need here to maybe stop the bleeding here a little bit. And Covenant Christian, because remember, Speedway's going to get the ball to start the second half here.
Back to the pass that was caught by Munoz. Watch how he is able to maneuver around the defender and snag this one from him.
Yeah, boy, that's great concentration there for Munoz. Out-raising the defender there. Racing him for the ball, into the ball. That's great concentration.
And able to steal it away from the freshman, Charles Avery Mitchell. The one on Munoz. There's the Covenant Christian huddle. They're trying to get anything up on the scoreboard going into halftime. 15 seconds left to play in the half.
So you're about you're around your 24-yard line or so.
And it is 3rd and 14. Flat. 5-step drop. Lobs it up. It's caught by Tyndall. He does have the first down, and they will call another timeout right after that. So you don't take very much time up off the clock, and you go to one of your most reliable players in Tyndall as he gets taken down at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, showing some promise here on this last drive of the first half here for Covenant Christian. Just 8 yards away from getting on the board here.
Pass play goes for 16 yards. Warriors have 1 timeout left to use and 9 seconds. Definitely plenty of time for at least 2 more plays.
Ball's on the 7. Thank you.
Warriors will be at the 7-yard line as well.
This is one of these situations with 9 seconds. You can't take a whole lot of time. If something's not there, you may have to just throw it away so you can guaranteed to give yourself 2 plays here. Update from one of our SRN games, Heritage Christian 27-6 at the half over Traders Point.
Ball is on the right hash for the Warriors. And Flat will have an empty backfield. Neighbors is in the slot to the right alongside Munoz. 5 wide for the Warriors. Flat taking his time, taking a lot of time off the clock. Rolls out to his right, throws it at the pylon. And Munoz was there, but it was pretty good defense. On the coverage was Kelvin Bass. And now the Warriors just have 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah, that almost took too long in developing and almost ran out the clock. Luckily, there is still this 1 play left for Covenant Christian.
And it appears the Warriors will try and go for 6. They're going to leave the offense out there. You do have a pretty reliable leg in Munoz, but I'm sure if you're Evan Cottle, you are thinking, we're here, we might as well go for 6. We need all we can get.
Yeah, with a 28-0, you figure 3, you're still, but it's getting those points. Any points would shift the momentum here because you hate to come up empty on this great drive.
Last play of the first half. Flat to his left, has to get rid of it, and it skips into Tyndall at this near side pylon. Great defensive stand after the long Munoz run. Speedway holds Covenant Christian to 0 points in the first half while putting up 28. They're not looking like a Week 1 team. The Sparkplugs have come to play. They lead 28-0 as we head to halftime from Zionsville West Middle School. We'll be back with a couple of minutes left before the start of the second half. You're watching Indiana High School football powered by IndianaSRN.
Football fans, welcome back to Friday night, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
When I'm at a Super Bowl and I walk in that stadium at kickoff time and I see that football sitting down there on that field, I get goosebumps because I sewed that football. I am Jane Helser. I recently retired. I started working at Wilson on April 13th, 1966. I was 19 years old. I put an application at Wilson. I got the job, never thinking that I'd be there for 48 years. I enjoyed what I did, so I just stayed.
The Wilson football factory here, it's actually like a secret. I was raised about 20 miles from here and never even knew this place was here. We make NFL footballs year-round. We manufactured the ball for every Super Bowl, and every point scored in the NFL since 1941 has been scored with a Wilson football. Jane was the longest tenured employee when she retired.
I would get up at about 3:30 in the morning to be on the job at 5 a.m. I had to oil up my machine every day. I could sew about 150 footballs a day. A football is made from a big piece of leather. It's cut out like a cookie cutter, and that panel is split down to a certain size. They're stamped with a logo, and then there's a lining that's put on it to hold the shape of a ball. When I get the football, it's in 4 panels. There's the top 2 panels. Those 2 are sewed together, leaving the opening. Then I sew the bottom 2 panels together. After the lace holes are punched and the seam are pounded down, then I sew the full section together. The rule of thumb is you don't make a good football sewer until you run a needle through your finger. One time the needle just slid up underneath the foot, stuck in my finger. They put an ice pack on it, took me to the doctor, he cut it out, and I went back to work the rest of the afternoon. I'm tough. The turner gets the nice job of turning it right side out. Then it goes to the lacer, he or she, puts a bladder in it and then laces it. After it goes to the lacer, it's molded. Then the ball is ready to be inspected.
Sewing the football together is probably the most important quality as far as manufacturing. The ball has to have perfect seams, the ends have to line up perfectly, and therefore I think sewing is probably the most critical job in manufacturing the ball. We do not want to change the product in its total, because the most important thing is the integrity of football. So our thing's consistency, make a consistent product that feels the same to the player every time they pick it up.
There's a cold swim. I tell people that I've been to 9 Super Bowls, but I've never been to an Ohio State football game. I've been to Miami twice, Tampa twice, Arizona twice, soon to be the 3rd time, New Orleans and Indianapolis. I'm just a worker that got a job when I was 19 years old and stayed there and was able to try to do the best job I could. And I've been rewarded greatly for it.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. He said he loved me. My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool, but they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Welcome back to Zionsville West Middle School. It's week 1 in the state of Indiana, and the Spark Plugs come out firing. 28-0 is your halftime score. Along with John Lester, I am Jarrett Lewis. Thanks so much for making your Friday night a part of us and with us and enjoying this game wherever you may be and however you may be watching, whether it's on the website, whether it's on YouTube. Let us know that you're watching. Tweet at us at IndianaSRN. First half numbers brought to you by Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe, a great atmosphere for breakfast or brunch. They're open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tammy and her staff are waiting to serve you and your family, located at 6427 Oak Landing Road in Indianapolis. As you can probably guess, the numbers are really good for Speedway. 269 yards of total offense. 210 of those were through the air. Quite the first half for quarterback Carter Watson, who starts off his junior year, throwing 17 times. He was 11 of 17 for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has hooked up with 3 different receivers that have scored. McPherson scored on that long 57-yard catch in the first quarter, and then the second quarter able to connect with Christian Cook and Landon Short. So many guys, so many weapons. We thought that McPherson was going to be a guy to take over, which he has, but so have a lot of other guys. It has been a full 11-man effort from the Speedway offense.
If you are Coach Clampett, you have got to be ecstatic about what you saw in that first half, not only from your starters, but as you mentioned, Cook there coming in, getting that touchdown. You have got to be, I think this is the first half for Coach Clampett. This first half went better than even he could have anticipated, keeping Covenant Christian off the board in that first half. Defense has been phenomenal as well. Only thing he may have a little bit of a complaint about is the penalties. They were penalized 7 times for 55 yards, but outside of that, Coach Clampett has just got to be ecstatic right now in that locker room.
And on the other side, unfortunately for Covenant Christian, they have been held in check. They put together a decent first drive to open up the game, but right now their numbers are not looking good in any category. John Neighbors has rushed 8 times for just 22 yards. Flat through the air, 8 of 18 for 107. This front defensive line of Speedway, they have been able to get to flat, and a usual quarterback who's good at extending the play and being able to use his legs, maneuver around those guys. But these guys on this defensive line And in the second level of Speedway, they're not just big, but they're fast, they're athletic. They're going to be able to track you down.
Yeah, Flat it looked like he was getting a little frustrated there in the first half, just able to get nothing done against this Speedway defense, as you mentioned. And like we mentioned at the outset, Speedway's a 3A school, Covenant Christian's a 1A school. Speedway has a little bit deeper, bigger athletes. So Covenant Christian, that's something going up against them. But yeah, Flat, just not the performance we expect to see from him in the first half. See if he gets this turned around in the second half. And we'll see how Covenant Christian comes out here in the second half.
The do-it-all guy for Speedway, DJ McPherson, only had 5 rushing attempts in that first half. They really didn't have to rely on him so much, but he's made the most of those attempts. He's averaging 10 yards a carry to put him at 50 yards receiving. And 7 different guys have caught a pass from Carter Watson. That's the type of contribution that we're seeing, just so many different weapons, and right now that's mainly the difference. So many guys can make a difference for the Speedway team, and Covenant is trying to catch up.
Yeah, that balance that Speedway has shown, it's just been, something that Covenant Christian just is not quite as deep as Speedway, and Speedway, but we'll see. Well, Speedway's going to get the ball here in the second half. We'll see if Covenant Christian can keep them off the board here in the second half.
A brand new half set to get underway. Week 1 in the state of Indiana is a-rolling. Second half is getting closer here from Zionsville West Middle School. You're watching Indiana High School football, powered by IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Second half about to get underway from Noblesville West Middle School. It's been all Speedway, 14 points in both quarters. They lead 28-0. A couple of other scores that we have for you on the network. Most games are at halftime. Traders Point started off the game well, up 6-0 on Heritage Christian, but the Eagles have responded and they lead 27-6 at the half. Franklin Central leads Perry Meridian 23-0 at the half. And one of our other games for you is Evansville Memorial and Jasper. Haven't received any updates from that game quite yet, but when we do, we will let you know about how that game is going on. And, of course, all across the state of Indiana, Week 1 has been underway with some games. Some notable ones, New Palestine taking on Westfield. That game is at the half with New Palestine leading. And I just saw a score, and now it went away, so I will try to find that one shortly. Ben Davis and Brownsburg, they're at the half. Brownsburg is up 21-9. And Noblesville is at the half, 29-27. They're taking on Mount Vernon. A lot of big Week 1 games, a lot of impressive games, and you kind of wish you could try and catch a glimpse of all of them. They're so good, and
I think the featured game here in Week 1 across the state of Indiana is up there in northern Indiana. 5A number 1 Merrillville. They're hosting 2A number 1 Andrean. So I think that's probably the featured game across the state here in the opening weekend.
And how about these smaller schools that are trying to put some big-name powerhouse schools up on their schedule, prepare themselves as the season goes on, and Covenant Christian has been able to do a little bit of that as well. End of quarter number 1, Carmel is taking on Trinity from Kentucky. That game's just 3-0. That's probably going to be a close and low-scoring game as the night goes on.
Interesting, Indy Cathedral moving up to 6A this year with that success factor. So, as I say, they're in there with the big boys now. They're still coming in ranked number 2 there in 6A. Cathedral's still a very good football team there.
So Speedway has come back out onto the field, getting ready for the second half, which is getting closer. The second half is brought to you by the IHSAA officials. Participation in high school athletics does not have to end with high school graduation. Even if you've been away from the game for a while, you can get back into the game just as easy by becoming a licensed official in any of the 20 sports sanctioned by the IHSAA. Contact the IHSAA office today at ihsaa.org. Also, make sure you check out our sports page on our website, IndianaSRN.org. All types of scores from around the state of Indiana, recaps of our games, news, and information about college and professional sports as well. It's all on the sports page at IndianaSRN.org. So, the first winning season for Speedway, we mentioned it in the pregame, was in 2013 up until last year when Coach Shane Clampett took over and took this team to a 9-3 mark. They ended up losing in the sectional championship game to Lafayette Central Catholic. Always a very good football program. 56-35 was that final score. And now Speedway's really picking up right where they left off, not in the losing sense, but being able to put up big numbers. 28 first half points is quite something to talk about, especially for your first game of the year.
Yeah, most definitely. We were wondering what we were going to get. With the competitiveness of this game a year ago, we're expecting it to go that way. And Covenant Christian there's still a second half to play, so Covenant Christian can get back in this. But yeah, Speedway just coming out on all cylinders in this first half. Yeah.
New Palestine has jumped up to a 28-7 lead over Westfield. That game just got started in the third quarter. As for, we mentioned Noblesville taking on Mount Vernon. That score is 29-27 in favor of the Millers at the half. Eastern Hancock leads 30-14 over Alexandria at the half. Got a couple more minutes before we are getting back to playing some football.
Now we got a big Chittard-Burbuff game coming up at Lucas Oil Stadium. I believe that's an 8:30 kickoff, so might be able to catch the second half of that game on the.
Let's highlight the Week 2 schedule while we're at it. We had 4 games for you tonight. We'll have 5 next week. Covenant Christian will be at Traders Point for week number 2. Evansville Memorial is at Evansville North. Indianapolis Tech will take on Chittard at Chittard. And then this Speedway team will be at Cecina. That game will be played at Beech Grove. Cecina, another very good team. Those two teams sharing the same Indiana Crossroads Conference. That should be a very highlighted matchup for you in Week 2. And finally, Guerin Catholic will travel up north and take on Lafayette Central Catholic. So more tremendous games for you on our network next week. We'll have you covered throughout the week. Make sure you follow us on Twitter so you're always in the know of what games we have coming up for you.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be headed up to Lafayette next week for that Guerin Catholic Lafayette Catholic game. So looking forward to that game up there. That should be a good one up there.
Halftime is almost to a close. We will stay right here and get closer to the kickoff. Covenant Christian huddling up, trying to build some sort of momentum. Still a whole 24 minutes left to go. Things can change just like that. It really, in some instances, could take one play. They need to force a turnover. They need to do something to shift any sort of momentum back to their side.
Yeah, we thought we were going to see it there at the end of the first half when Covenant Christian finally able to get down inside the 10-yard line. Unfortunately, ran out of time there in the first half, and now it's going to be important with Speedway getting the ball to start the second half. Covenant Christian is going to have to somehow, some way, keep them from really a time-consuming drive as well. But, yeah, Covenant Christian defense, this is going to be the big play here, big series here to start the second half.
for a defense that gave up just 240 yards a game last year. We talked about the numbers at half. 269 is what Speedway has been at. And just 107 on the side for Covenant Christian.
And for Covenant Christian, 62 of those were on that one long play in that first half.
The pass play to Munoz. That was with less than a minute left to go in that first half. And Munoz will now have his kicking unit out there set to kick off. Speedway will go from right to left. Franklin Central now leads 30-0 over Perry Meridian halfway through the third quarter, so a good opening week for the Flashes.
Franklin Central had a couple rough years there, 3-4 years ago, and I've seen them getting that turned around there at Franklin on the south side, Indianapolis there.
A score here from Speedway would certainly really put a damper on this home opener for Covenant Christian and their fans. And Sparkplugs in every facet of the game have been in control, whether it's been at the line of scrimmage, offensively, defensively. They have been all over the football. And holding the Warriors to just a little bit over 100 yards of total offense in that first half. A short pooch kick will have really good field position to start for Speedway. They'll be at the 44 after the return from Avery Mitchell.
Yeah, great starting field position here for Speedway to open the second half. And you get the feeling they're going to kind of go for the knockout punch here on this opening drive here in the second half.
Same guys out there offensively to start. Watson, the quarterback. McPherson, the tailback. Christian Cook and Landon Short had 3 and 2 catches respectively. 2 men in the tailback. Fake the give to McPherson and wide open in the flat. Catch and run for Tyrese Johnson. Could he score on the first play of the second half? Shakes the first guy. Bounces off the second. Tackled down by 3 men, and he's inside the 10 to the 7.
Wow, Johnson's showing his strength right there. A great run, and one play in, it's a 1st and goal for Speedway.
Here it is.
We'll get another look at it. Right off the bat, Speedway has been phenomenal at putting together explosive plays early on. Tyrese Johnson's second catch this afternoon. They go from the 47 to the Covenant 7. Second play of the drive. Another fake up the middle and another wide open receiver in the flat. Jazz Coleman with the catch out of the backfield, and Speedway, in the blink of an eye, makes it 34-0.
Yeah, boy, that didn't take long, did it? 2 plays, and Speedway's in the end zone once again here. And a great start to the half for Speedway and Covenant Christian. That's not the way you were wanting to start this second half.
4 touchdown passes now for Carter Watson, all to 4 different Speedway receivers. Jazz Coleman's second catch tonight goes for 7 yards and the score. Carter Watson's at 263 yards passing. Kick is very high and very good for Ben Heveland. 35-0 Speedway. They are running away with this one. More third quarter action upcoming here on IndianaSRN. There's your score, 35-0. Speedway just 44 seconds into the third quarter, and they score like this.
Yeah, here's another look at that touchdown. Yeah, just a nice little 7-yard pass there, and Speedway just keeps it going here, 35-0.
A well-designed play. Coleman was technically in the backfield, but lined up as a wing on the left side, came all the way across the field. No one picked him up, and it was an easy score. Tyndall still fighting. Will muster past the 25, reaches 27-yard line. And you can see it all in the body language, too, of Covenant Christian. They seem very dejected. Speedway, guys are hype. They're lifting each other up. And that's really a huge difference that you really start to see now that this score has reached the point of a running clock.
Yeah, like you were saying, the body language just basically tells it all here. And Covenant Christian, yeah, I don't think they thought this would be happening coming in here, but had a chance for them to get their offense going on this first possession here in the second half.
First drive for Flat. He will swing things out to Bryant out of the backfield. Nice pickup for Noah Bryant. Across the 40, they rule him down as he was able to reach the 45-yard line.
It's a nice little first down play there for Covenant Christian.
18 yards for Bryant. It's a good way to start off your first drive. It actually is the second longest play from scrimmage that Covenant Christian has had, and if you take away that crazy catch with Munoz that went for 62, it would be number one. New set of downs. Warriors are at the 45. Off the fingertips of Flat. He'll have to pick it up and run and get as much as he can, but he's going to lose 4 yards.
Yeah, tough break there for Covenant Christian. Just a bad snap, and Flat tried to get back all he could, but 4-yard loss there on first down.
Flat had the lone turnover where he fumbled the ball deep in their own territory. And now his rushing total keeps heading downwards. 2 receivers both sides for the Warriors. On 2nd and 14. Freeman off the edge, but the play is blown dead. Looks like we got a flag thrown prior to the snap.
Yeah, I think we had some movement there before the snap.
Another offsides called against Speedway. 4th time tonight they've picked up a penalty in that fashion. They have 8 total penalties. So now 2nd and 14 will be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, 2nd more manageable here for Covenant Christian.
It is nice winning that penalty battle against your opponents, but the Warriors still unfortunate to not really get anything going in response to those penalties being thrown. Here's another one thrown as Flat was extending the play, was able to pick up 1 yard. And this one appears it may be heading the other way.
I think it's important for Coach Cottle at this point, where the game is. He's got to tell his team, don't play the scoreboard. Just play like it's 0-0. Let's just run our offense. Let's just play our game and see what happens.
Back and forth we go with the spot of the football. Now we're at the 36. Munoz in the slot with the gold shoes, red gloves. 2 receivers both sides for Flat. He looks to his right, stays right, throws it up for grabs and nearly picked off by the much taller defender in Landon Short, who's now playing both ways. And that was a dangerously thrown ball by Flat, but luckily they'll have 3rd and 19. Try to put together a much better play.
Yeah, luckily they're just end up falling, get tipped there and fell harmlessly incomplete as a result. But yeah, dangerous play there for Flat. Now 3rd and long again for Covenant Christian.
6:10 on the clock. 3 receivers near side this time. Bryant in the backfield. Neighbors has kind of been in and out offensively for the Warriors. Flat steps up deep down the field, and he had his man. Separation there between his intended target and the defender. Daniel Shin had some open space around him, but just couldn't put it on him.
Yeah, he had a lot of green in front of him. Unfortunately, just overshot a little bit. And on 4th down here, let's see what Covenant Christian elects to do here. So,
and they haven't switched. Now they have. The down marker was at 3rd for a little bit, but deep your own side of the field, Munoz will come out to send this one away. It'll be his 5th time being back in punt formation. Good snap. And
stoppage here.
Play's blown dead before. And it's also not Munoz back there anymore. It's Tyndall. Timeout called by Speedway. So maybe out of sorts or something like that. But 4th and very long. Sparkplugs look to be getting the football right back. Could they score again? We'll find out when we return from a break. You're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN. Right back in time for the Tyndall punt. Takes a Covenant bounce.
What's the clock at?
Inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Decent punt from Gavin Tyndall. And now with the 35-0 score, we already mentioned the running clock. Now we will see just how long this Speedway starting offense may stay out there. The first team guys you can see are back out onto the field. And they may just end up finishing out this 3rd quarter. Of course, depending on how things go. But they've played well. And we already mentioned it once, just how much they don't look like a week 1 team. Their summer preparation has certainly paid off, at least after this week 1 game.
Yeah, they are gelling on all cylinders tonight, and yeah, this Speedway team is going to be a fun one to watch this year.
Watson, swing route. Behind the line of scrimmage, they're going to lose a lot of yards on this play. And making the catch for Speedway is Ben Wilson, his first reception. Second down and 15. DJ McPherson not out there. Jazz Coleman In the backfield with Watson. They bunch the receivers close to the line of scrimmage. Low snap. Watson forced to roll out. And this time he hooks up with Wilson on the catch, and it looks like it's going to be a first down. So Wilson gets all those yards back plus a new set of downs.
Yeah, great read there to Wilson, and for first down for Speedway. I was wondering if he came down with, I guess he got a foot down in bounds there. I was wondering if he came down out of bounds, but they're saying first down.
Wilson, a junior, his first reps tonight. High snap this time. Watson going after it, sticking his hands out there to reel it in is Zach Wareham. And Wareham was in a dogfight with his defender to grab that ball, and it looks like he's got an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, great job there for Wareham, and you can get the feeling now Speedway is just kind of using these small plays, just work on the clock with the running clock, and we got someone slow getting up here, or foot injury.
Officials timeout, and again, Ajani looks like he's cramping perhaps a little bit. He's been reaching down and trying to stretch out his right leg as much as he can.
Yeah, beginning of the season, you see a lot of this cramping that corrects itself usually as you play down the stretch, or as you get later on in the season, that seems to correct itself. But yeah, that's not uncommon to see that early on in the season.
Let's give some props to this offensive line. Ajani patrolling the right side. Owen Hooper, a senior, also on that line. Devin Robinson, two-way player. Robert Hutchinson on the line. And now left tackle out there, Creighton Bennett. He's a senior at the left side. Swing it out towards the left side for the fourth time this afternoon. Bambo has a catch, and he picks up the first down. They needed 3.5, and they got 4. And now Bambo is shaken up. He's going to hobble over to his sideline. Actually, he doesn't even make it to the sideline. He falls down at the 40. And maybe there's a couple of players for the Speedway sideline that have been cramping up.
Yeah, like you were saying at the beginning of this drive here, you have to wonder how much longer we're going to see this starting offense, not only with the score as it is, but to prevent like an injury from happening here for Speedway.
So as they tend to the guy that's down, Blessin Bambo, I said he had 4 catches. He actually has 3 for 21 yards. And Bambo's another guy that we haven't really seen of every possession. Speedway's done a nice job of rotating receivers out. And there's been 8 different guys with a catch from Watson tonight. Wilson most recently.
Yeah, you like seeing that balance there if you're Speedway. Here's a surprising score that came through. Not surprising, but we know New Pal 35-14 over the defending 2A or defending 6A two-time runners-up Westfield there in the third quarter.
New Palestine, a real powerhouse that started off in 4A, then they moved up to 5A, and they've still been keeping up with their ginormous success under head coach Kyle Ralph. And they're looking really good through week 1. So, new set of downs. 1st and 10. McPherson's back out there. Bambo was able to make it to the sideline, and you can maybe see him laying down over there trying to get stretched out. They go back to McPherson. Just his 6th carry tonight. Uses a nice stiff arm to get rid of the first guy, and there he goes down the sideline. Taken down at the 25-yard line. Another huge pickup for DJ McPherson. And, boy, Is he explosive? Boy, is he fun to watch.
Is he some kind of athlete or what? Yeah, use it.
And now McPherson might be down. I don't know. He gets back up. He's good to go. Some of these guys are, I mean, they're putting together these huge runs, and they're getting tired. They need a little break. They're just going to lay down on the soft grass for a little while. Back to the McPherson run.
Yeah, this is just a great run here by McPherson. He has been all-everything player tonight for Speedway.
And with that play, the third quarter has come to a close. Speedway tacks on 7 more. They lead 35-0 as we head to the fourth and final quarter on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Fourth quarter about to get started here on IndianaSRN with John Lester. I'm Jarrett Lewis. The Spark Plugs, from the very start, they have not stopped. They put together a scoring drive in that third quarter, a very fast third quarter, and take into account the running clock also. But Speedway's had the football for quite some time this drive. They've put together a lot of very quick scoring drives. The 5 times they have scored, they have gone in 6 plays, 4 plays, 6 plays, 1 play, and 2 plays. And they'll start off the fourth quarter with a run up the middle to Tyrese Johnson that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, nice job for the Covenant Christian defense to stop there on first down. No gain there on first down.
Johnson was a tailback used last year as well. Second on the team in carries. But also dangerous in the receiving game as well. He'll line up as Watson is in the pistol. Read option. Watson keeps, but before that we get a flag. Offside's going to go against Covenant Christian the first time that we've said that for them. It's been Speedway that's had 4 total offsides penalties, 8 total penalties altogether.
Yeah, Covenant Christian jumping the gun a little bit there, but have to wonder if this is the final series for the starting offense, as you mentioned earlier. That's the last time we see the starting offense tonight for Speedway.
They'll have Landon Short lined up top, Wilson in the slot, and Johnson continues to be the tailback for this possession. Give to Johnson. Starts right, finds a hole to his left. Nice little shifty run. Johnson will easily have a first down as he carries it almost to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, great little run there for Johnson. Nice up the middle run, and Speedway on the verge again of putting it in the end zone.
And obviously in no hurry is the Speedway offense. Christian Kirk lines up near side. And with a new set of downs, getting closer to the end zone. Johnson with another give. Left to right, nice shift, pushed backwards, but not before picking up 7 more yards. Tyrese Johnson, a real nice complimentary back to McPherson.
Yeah, he's going to be a great fill-in there for McPherson to give McPherson a little bit of a breather there, and Speedway's 5 yards away. Interesting development, one of our SRN games, Franklin Central was up 35-0 over Perry Meridian. They went to a running clock. Perry Meridian has come back to make it a 35-21 ball game.
Very interesting. Speedway threatening to strike yet again. Watson nearly loses his helmet. He keeps it. Dives for the end zone. He's in for the touchdown. Watson's helmet looked like it popped off, or at least popped halfway off, and now he's still down. And you got to wonder if the helmet was all the way on for him as he dove across the goal line and into the end zone.
Yeah, he took a pretty good shot there at the end, and hopefully he's all right. But another touchdown for Speedway. The offense just looking phenomenal tonight.
So with 8:16 left to play in this ballgame, Watson, he's thrown for 4 touchdowns, and now he adds a rushing touchdown to his resume for tonight. Heveland puts it up. No good. This time it's no good. Heveland's 4 for 6 now in PAT. So the score stays put at 41-0. The Spark Plugs well in control. They'll start week 1 off with a win.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Phenomenal game so far for the junior quarterback Carter Watson. Was all conference last year in the Indiana Crossroads. Check out another look at this. You see the helmet come halfway off as he came in contact on the mesh with his tailback. And we hope Watson is okay as far as we're concerned. He's going to be all right. And if that's his last drive, what a way to cap it off. Regardless of the score, putting your body on the line, giving full maximum effort, that's what you're going to see in players that go all conference.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's definitely all conference for a reason. And that very good Indiana Crossroads conference, Adam, I might add.
We mentioned that Speedway's next game is at Scecina. That's a conference opponent. Here's a nice return for Tyndall near sideline, forced out around midfield. So after this game, Speedway will rattle off 4 straight conference games, and after Scecina, they'll rattle off 4 straight home games. So they'll be at Scecina for week 2, and then weeks 3 through 6, they will be at home against Beech Grove, Ritter, Monrovia, and Connorsville. And then they will wrap up the rest of the season against the other Indiana Crossroads opponents in Cascade, Lutheran, and Triton Central. Very good Indiana Crossroads Conference indeed.
Well, it's definitely, of course, Lutheran, the defending state champions in that conference.
New quarterback in for Covenant Christian as they start off with a pitch to Tyndall, and he had 1 yard picked up initially, and then he started to go backwards, but it looks like the Warriors will get bailed out with a 5-yard face mask call.
Yeah, I saw him grab the face mask there, so it'll end up being probably right back to the original line of scrimmage as a result of all this. And for Covenant Christian fans here tonight, I mean, this is only week 1. This is the beginning of the season, not to where this is still a very good football team. They just ran into a buzzsaw of a Speedway team here tonight. But Covenant Christian is still a very good football team.
And it looks like Speedway has gotten a whole lot better also, if you just compare how this game went last year. A lot of starters returning for both teams, and the starters are very good for Speedway. Going backwards, just got to get rid of it, and it's going to be a completion, actually. The new quarterback is Connor Cruz. He's a freshman, and he's able to get that pass out to Isaac Weininger.
End up a 3-yard loss, but I tell you what, that could have been about a 10, 15-yard loss. You know, Meyer Cruz for being able to get rid of that ball the way he did.
Second down and 13. A couple of first-team offensive guys are still out there. But Cruz, the freshman, in to take the snaps. That was a high snap, and he's going to be sacked. Taken down for about a 4-yard loss. They've been getting back into the backfield all night. Corey Midget of Speedway. He's a freshman. He's going to be credited with the sack.
And you know, going in with the score, you know, this deep in the game, you know Speedway's wanting to preserve this shutout. We got third and about, 17, 18, 15?
It should be a very intriguing matchup next week with Speedway in Cecina. Cruz stepped it up in the pocket nicely. Deep down the field. He's got his man. Hauled in. Taking down at the 6-yard line with the reception for Covenant Christian, Daniel Shin. A well-thrown ball by the freshman Cruz, and perhaps the Warriors will prevent a shutout.
That was a great pass from Cruz. Found his receiver, and Covenant Christian 6 yards away from finding the end zone for the first time tonight. Well, I like the arm on this Cruz.
Very well thrown ball. Now Cruz will roll out to his right and throws it out for his receiver to go after it, and it's off the hands of his man Landon Ross. We'll get another look at this throw from Cruz.
Great pass and great read to his wide receiver there. Yeah, great play. What was that, about 55 yards, wasn't it?
Just about. May have been right at the 50-yard mark. 3:50 left to play.
At the 45 when they started.
Cruz takes the snap, another bobbled snap, and he's just going to have to take off with it. He'll lose a few yards. A lot of trouble with the center quarterback exchange.
Yeah, that was a good play there by Cruz, though. Instead of trying to force something, just go down, reserve the offense, because instead of trying to force a bad throw. They got 3rd and goal from the 10 or so.
A high-profile game in the state of Indiana. Carmel trails Trinity of Kentucky 10-7 in the third quarter. Cruz on 3rd and goal swings it out to Bryant. Bryant lost his footing a little bit, but not much doing. Nowhere to go. Good pursuit by the Speedway defense.
Yeah, now Speedway one play away here from probably preserving a shutout as we hit 3 minutes here in this game.
About
2.5 minutes. Cruz back in the pistol again with Bryant trailing behind him. Oh, immediately hit. No one picked up the blitzing man of Speedway in a huge sack to end the drive.
Wow.
What a plaster put on by Jerron Smith. He's just a freshman getting some varsity playing time in week 1, and he put a lick on Connor Cruz.
And he timed that snap perfectly to where nothing Cruz could do in that situation. And a couple more snaps, and I think in this game.
It doesn't help either that Cruz, his immediate first look is to the left. And here comes Jerron Smith from the side. You're not looking.
Yeah.
So just maybe 2 plays needed to be run here for Speedway to wrap this one up. We'll send in their backup quarterback to finish off this game. Read option, just a keeper for the freshman quarterback Connor Moreland. And this will be the last play as we are at 40 seconds left to go in this one. Speedway in a fiery fashion. 41 points in the season opener. A lot of different guys able to score for the Sparkplugs. McPherson had the first 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And then through the air, Christian Cook from 20 yards out. Landon Short from 27 yards out. Jazz Coleman, 7-yard touchdown reception. And then Carter Watson, the starting quarterback, able to finish things off with a 6-yard touchdown run. There's your final, 41-0. Speedway, impressive on offense, but the defense was lights out as well. They pitched the shutout against Covenant Christian, and they start off the 2022 season undefeated, 1-0. Some real quick numbers before we head out. Carter Watson will finish the game 16 of 23 for 287 yards. A tremendous first outing for the junior quarterback. DJ McPherson, we thought it was going to be a lot of him tonight, and it was, but not in the rushing fashion. He only had 6 carries, but he was good for 77 yards rushing. And he also had that 56-yard catch and score back in the first quarter. He is their do-it-all man. He is dynamic and explosive. Landon Short, 2 catches for 64. Christian Cook, 3 for 30. A couple of other guys getting 1 or 2 catches as well. So many weapons on the Speedway team. And, you know, we've already said it a couple of times. It's only week 1, but, boy, do they look impressive.
Yeah, most definitely. And you can tell Cecina's going to be watching some serious film on the Speedway team this week because this is a very, very good football team that's going to be going into Cecina next week.
We mentioned the upcoming schedule. Speedway will be at Cecina next week. That will be a very highly anticipated matchup early on in this 2022 season. As for Covenant Christian, they will be at Traders Point next week, which will begin 3 straight games on the road for the Warriors, who drop to 0-1. Want to remind you, at IndianaSRN, unlike most broadcasts, our funding comes primarily from donations and school subscriptions. Help us put more kids on TV, hitting that donate button on our website at IndianaSRN.org. Any contribution is greatly appreciated. Our producer tonight, Greg Smith, fantastic job. Our cameraman at Zionsville West Middle School, Justin Griffiths, thank you so much for the fantastic shots. And for my broadcast partner, John Lester. John, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
Well, yeah, you see what Speedway, and like I said, with Covenant Christian, this is still a very good football team. This is just one you just got to put in the back and just forget about this game and come out like your season's 0-0 next week. And this is just a buzzsaw of a Speedway team, and very looking forward to seeing that game against Cena next week. It's a very, very good football team in 3A and Speedway this year.
For the rest of our crew here at Indiana SRN, I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you next week right here on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Indiana SRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.